looked at a Ford Transit van lately? They're manufactured. This affected people down in your area, so you probably know where they closed the Dagenham plant, engine plant, for 2,000 jobs, and the Southampton Transit van production line in Southampton.
Ford is of course an American company that will be keen to sell into the European market, and its ability to do so is going to be hugely compromised. What are the tariffs again on cars if we want to export them into the European Union under World Trade Organisation rules, Paul?
Well, what about the cars that's coming from Japan? Some lovely ones coming from there. We don't have to pay 10 and 20% on them.
We would. World Trade Organisation tariffs, we would, but you didn't talk about Japan. You were talking about Ford Transit. So if we want to export them, from this country to the European Union, Paul, what would the tariff be under WTO rules?
You can't export them because we don't make them in this country anymore.
What would the tariff be under WTO rules if we were trying to persuade Ford to start manufacturing them in Luton again?
Ford Transit, company, they moved it lock, stock and barrel to Turkey with a preferential EU loan.
Turkey's not in the EU.
Yeah, but everybody's listening. Look up Ford Transit motor vehicles, and all the jobs went, and that's why everybody voted who's in manufacturing, who knows a little bit, and experiencing all these job losses, voted for Brexit.
So why is unemployment then at an all-time low?
Where is it an all-time low?
In the United Kingdom.
Because we all those self-employed sole traders, we kind of get round all.
Are you a self-employed sole trader when you're packing?
Oh yeah.
So you don't have any union protection, you don't have any workers' rights, you don't have any ability to protect your own interests from an unscrupulous employer.
Well,
because you're going to have even less after Brexit.
Well, Rosemary O'Grady, for instance, the union person, her dad was at Cowley. So, don't talk to me about union and protection jobs. She was the one that went over to Cuba to sort out a deal with the Cubans.
Just pause for a minute. When you rang in today and you thought, I'll show him about why Brexit's going to be great for British workers, did you sort of think to yourself, if I end up talking about somebody called Rosemary going to Cuba, it's probably the point at which I should hang up and say thank you and goodbye? Or are you thinking, I'm really nailing this now, I'm on fire?
No, actually, I'm laying a patio.
Is that a figure of speech, Paul?
No, I'm not doing that.
Okay, so when you're here to talk about the fruit and vegetable rotting in the fields of Britain and the 90% drop in the number of European Union nurses applying to this country, and you find yourself talking about someone called Rosemary whose dad worked at Cowley and once went to Cuba, is there a little voice anywhere in your head that goes, this isn't going well?
No, Francis O'Grady, dad, worked at Cowley.
So who's Rosemary O'Grady then?
Oh, no, forget it. Forget Rosemary. I don't really got that one from.
Okay, so, I got it from you. It's what came out of your mouth.
Right. All right.
So is that little voice yet saying this isn't really going very well? Maybe the Deputy President of the National Farmers Union knows more about farming than I do, and maybe, just maybe, the Nursing and Midwifery Council knows more about nursing and midwifery? Or are you still thinking, we don't need the news, I'll rely on my senses, I'll rely on my eyes and ears, and then something about sugar?
Yeah, well, you could say that, but she never turned up when British Sugar were closing down and all the farmers were struggling because of the root vegetables.
You didn't frankly have the balls to put country before party.